Hello friends and family of YouTube. Man, I hope y'all are having a great day. Well, just got back from Bowling Green, Kentucky. I was up there for a few days trying to sell some junk and make me a little bit of money for a while. I took nothing but low-end stuff. My entire booth was from $1 up to $5, so I didn't have any classic treasures you're going to find in my booth this time. But generally that's what I do the best with when I do go to Kentucky. So this was about I think the 6th year that I have done this particular show. It's a 400-mile yard sale. And anyway, this video is going to have a little bit of comedy for you. It's also going to have some drama. I'm just going to tell you, man, some times got pretty bad there with the weather. So that's the drama involved. But yeah, there was some good comedy too. So let me show you some of that. Well, me and Muppy are on our way to Kentucky. We are going to sell some junk. But before I leave, I've got to turn this chair around. If you've seen the last video, Muppy was sitting in that chair getting belly rubs and people was paying her $1. Well, there's no way I can ride down the road with this sign sticking on the window here. People don't know what's going on and they'll think I'm some kind of crazy pervert. Anyway, got the rig all hooked up. Like I say, we headed to Kentucky. We'll go sell some junk and see some beautiful countryside. We'll take y'all with me. And look how beautiful these trees look. Oh man, gonna miss home. Well, here we go. Well, this is going to be my view for the next 4 days. Me and Muppy have made it to Bowling Green, Kentucky. And man, I am telling you what, the wind is blowing so hard out here. Well, I was going to show you compared to the grass of how hard it's blowing, and you might be able to hear it through the video here. But I can't set up my tents. I've got 4 of these plastic cover tents, and I can't even put them up because the wind's blowing so hard right now that it's bad about blowing them over. And with me being right here at this highway, I'm afraid that that the tent might blow into the highway, and of course I don't want that. I don't want to cause a wreck or a big scene or whatever. But let's see if you can get a see by this tree here of how the wind's blowing. It takes about 15 to 20 miles per hour to blow over one of these tents. Once I get the tent set up, I can drive stakes in the ground and tie them down and not have to worry about it too much. But anyway, there's a lot of traffic here, so yeah, it's a high traffic area. Should get pretty good sales. I've sold here about 6 years now, and well, I tell you what, Muppy was really loving this grass. This grass is so tall. It's about 6 inches tall. And man, she was really having a big time in there when I let her out of the van. Well, I do a lot of traveling and I see a lot of stupid driving everywhere I go. But today's episode is going to take place right here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I am on a 4-lane highway. This is Highway 68 and Highway 80 that run together. And you can see that there is a lot of traffic out here. And sometimes people pull right into this corner here and they just stop right as they pull into the parking lot. Now it's a little understandable with the gentleman that just had the big trailer. But, and I tell you what, sometimes this highway can really be packed. And, yeah, let me see if I can't get some stupid driving for you. Okay, now that one there showed us how to get off the highway, but they wanted to clog up the parking lot. And that one there wants to come off real slow. Maybe somebody can pop me in the rear end while I've still got it hanging out there in the road. Drivers Some of the best drivers we have are the Amish. They don't ever cause any problems. Oh, I do believe we got some good ones here. Yep, they should come in real slow. Yeah, here we go. There's 55 miles per hour cars coming behind me. Let me stay out here as long as possible. Oh, just maybe I can get hit. Too bad. I have sat up here for years now, and I've seen a wreck here every time that I've been here. And I should see one while I'm here, if I'm unfortunate. But never understood why people would drive and leave their cars hanging out in the road. They do it everywhere. I see it in every state I go to. Man, I have got to show y'all a true genius. Look at this guy here. Parked on the sidewalk, facing the wrong direction. I will bet $10 to any donut that when this guy leaves, he's also going to show us just how fast he can drive. I'll see if I can't get footage for you, but I'm going to bet that he's going to burn rubber. He's going to be as loud as possible. There's been a lot of that going on. Of course, we're still leaving our vehicles out here in the road as long as possible. Try to block up traffic as much as we can. That guy there, he didn't like it, so he's letting everybody know how fast he can take off now. Well, the guy with the old car bought a moped, so he left he left here on a moped, got his wife to drive the old car, so he didn't show out on it. But here comes somebody to make up for it. And there's a little bit of everything going on here today. I do have to point this out. If you are in a car and your car of course has airbags, it's got metal all around you, you got all kind of stuff to help protect you in the problem of getting into a car accident. But oh man, I have really seen something stupid now. This truck here, this lady just got out of the truck. She just parked her truck right there. She just parked her truck right there, blocking the entire exit. What an idiot. So now everybody's gonna get behind her thinking, or get behind her empty vehicle, thinking that she's pulling out. What an idiot. Anyway, so if you're in a car, you must wear your seatbelt. Even though you've got metal surrounding you, you've got airbags and all that. But if you're riding a motorcycle, you do not have to wear a helmet. How about that? Well, as I pointed out, there was a lot of people that love to do burnouts every single time they would leave that store. I don't even think I showed the store. It's a gas station, but it's also like a miniature grocery store, and it has a Subway sandwich shop inside of it. So what was funny was, I mean, there's cars coming, probably 10 to 15 cars an hour, 10 to 15 cars a minute coming in there. It's constant. So anyway, when people would do these burnouts, if I was standing up when they come by there doing it, I would always stare at them like, you know, like I'd never seen anything like that before. And if I had the opportunity to point, like, you know, like that. And a couple of times I got busted doing it, which, you know, I kind of felt like, man, I want to entertain them. You know, I feel like if they feel like, man, I'm doing this and people are staring at me, you know, that's why they do it. They think that everybody's just waiting on them to do it. So I thought, I'm going to entice it a little bit and kind of make them feel important. So I just stood there like an idiot, just with my mouth open, pointing at them, and I don't know, it made me feel better. Hey, I didn't have nothing else to do. Sometimes when you're sitting out there, I was out there for like 5 days. What else are you gonna do? I mean, you gotta have some kind of entertainment, and these folks just happen to be my entertainment for the day. So anyway, well, sometimes we see things make us go, what's going on there? This fella had his sleeves cut off his shirt. Then he took a pair of long socks, cut the foot off the sock, and had them pulled over his arms. So then he ended up with a long sleeve shirt again. Hadn't seen that move before, but I seen it here today. All right, folks, I got to give fair warning. This audio is going to be horrible. But for me to tell you a story, I've got to be out here in it so you can get an idea. Probably can see the lightning that's going on. We have had winds come through here about, I don't know, 40 miles per hour, something like that. It has about blown my tents. You can see my tents and you can see the highway is right here. I've been out here holding on to these tents with the lightning, as stupid as that sounds, because they're metal poles. I couldn't live with myself if these tents flew out into that highway and killed somebody. I would risk my life before letting that happen. I have been out here holding down these tents as hard as I could. And the tents are starting to fill up. Starting to fill up with water. Up here it's making like a belly. And I think that saved me, because it weighted down the tent. Oh, I'm wore out. It weighted down the tent so much that it was, every time the tent would try to fly off, between me holding it down and the rain bellied into the tent, this right here is full of water, which there ain't no telling what it weighs with it holding this water in there. My God, I have seen all kind of stuff flying around out here. Thank God nothing has went out here into this highway, but man, yeah, I would not be able to live with myself if these tents flew out here into the highway. But I've got them staked down to the ground. I've got poles driven down into the ground, got ropes tied to them on every single one of these, but it's still not 100% foolproof, you know. I mean, you can do all you can do, but I can't imagine, cannot imagine what it would feel like knowing I didn't do a good enough job and these tents flew off and hurt somebody. But anyway, during this wind and lightning and everything, I got this rug laying out here, and man, there was pea-sized hail coming down and filling up all out there. But oh man, my arms are just so sore from holding down these tents. Whoo! God, I'm tired, and I'm soaking wet. My shoes, I know you can't tell, but it's hard to tell in video, but those shoes are normally a very faded brown and very, very old, aged, weathered look. But man, what a storm. This storm just, I hate to say it, just really kind of popped up and came out of nowhere. I know it sounds so cliche. I've been watching the radar all day long, and this storm, like a lot of others, just kind of built up, exploded, and most of them have diminished, but not this one. That's a school right across the street. Today they were having graduation. It's an elementary school. So yeah, there was a lot of kids over there and stuff, and that's all I kept thinking about is carloads of kids out there and these tents flying around. Oh, whew, man, I hope this is almost over. I'll take a picture of the radar and show you what I've been through. Well, I came in and dried off, put on some dry clothes, and checked with some locals that some friends of mine that live nearby, and they've told me that We got another storm coming somewhere around midnight, and it's gonna have some purple in it. If you know what I'm talking about, or maybe you don't anyway. Radars have green, which is very light rain, yellow, which is medium rain, red, which is strong, and purple, which means you don't want to be out in it. So after getting the bad news, Muppy just came over here and she just laid down next to me. Like, Daddy, I can feel your pain. I know you're going through a lot, Daddy. So I guess I'm gonna have to get out here and get wet again. I'm gonna have to take these tents down, which means that my tables and all my stuff in the tables will be likely to get wet. And I know this footage is awful, but I don't have any electricity. All I'm running on is the battery right now. So anyway, let me get out here and I'll get the tents taken down, and I will get the generator going and turn on some lights, and maybe tell you some more of what went on today. Here we are the next morning, about to unveil the moment of truth. See, there's a lot of bellies of water on the plastic. When I remove the plastic off of these tables, I'll find where some of it leaked and some product got ruined, so just kind of part of it. But luckily last night didn't get too bad, and as far as I can tell, I didn't lose anything. So we get the plastic off and see where I stand. Give you an idea how much rain I got yesterday. Look at this bucket. How about that? Only about 2.5 to 3 inches from the top being full. That's a lot of water. Well, anytime you eat, you can always depend on this right here to happen. Gosh, she's sitting there, just got them eyes blinking real small like that. That's the, man, look how cute I am. Don't you want to feed me? Man, I tell you what, I had one of these yesterday, and it was really good. This mixed fruit. What I thought was neat was they gave you a fork that folds. I've already unfolded it. I wished I'd showed it to you beforehand, before I unfolded it, because if you try to fold it back, it will break. So this is a one-time use spoon, spork, I guess you'd call it, but pretty neat stuff, and it's good too. So, and as it says down there, it's healthy and tasty. I forgot to mention, it's on clearance at Walmart. Normally these are $1, these are 50 cents now, and I can tell you why I think that is. When you try to tear off this top, it is stuck down so hard, so sealed tight on here, that when you get that off, you will spill half of this syrup all over your arm. And of course you can imagine how sticky of a mess that is. So yep, good stuff though. Well, here we go again. This is Saturday. Yep, that was thunder and lightning. We faced this Thursday. Today is Saturday. I've already got my stuff put up off the tables. Still have my chairs and that kind of thing set out, but the sale is over. I'm ashamed of myself. Usually I'm better than most weathermen at calling the weather. I seen this storm coming and I still thought I had about 30 minutes. And usually I move at the speed of a light bulb, but today I was moving at the speed of light trying to get everything put up. And I got caught. And the storm really got us. A lot of people was looking at me like I was crazy for packing up because it was sunny out. And I was like, hey, we got a storm coming. I ain't got time to fool around talking about it. And sure enough, here comes the storm. But man, it started moving fast once it got close to us. Oh, but it calmed down a lot better than the one we faced a few days ago. But at least they didn't lose any merchandise. just got everything wet, like the tables and the display pieces. So I get home, I'll have to set them outside to dry for a few days. Not every day you see a dune buggy in a city. Plus I had to show you just how fast he could take off. He's done that about 5 times this weekend. So yeah, the first day that I was truly set up, man, it just rained. God almighty, what a storm we had to stomach that day. So what was crazy is nothing got wet. Now, as I said, all my merchandise was from $1 up to $5. Nothing got ruined. I have been to shows where I've had items as much as $40, $50 worth of an item get ruined by the weather, and here I was with this cheap junk and nothing got ruined. So anyway, for those of you that are thinking about doing flea markets and stuff and yard sales, these 100-mile yard sales like I did here, the reason that I do low-end stuff like that is sometimes I can be at an auction, be it an estate auction or something like that, and you can buy just tables and tables full of stuff, sometimes just boxes. Anyway, when you buy those things, you get, you know, I have bought a pickup truck load full of junk and pay anywhere from $20 to $50 for a whole truckload. None of it is high-end stuff. You're not going to be able to sell any of it for high-end, but you know, I have been to Kentucky and sold as much as $750 before of that low-end stuff. And generally I wouldn't have but maybe $50 to $100 in the entire load. So yeah, I'd make $600 for the weekend, and to me that's pretty good money. So and it's fun, I enjoy it, it's what I like to do. And let me tell you one more thing and we'll end this. Okay, I had a couple of years ago this lady come into my booth and she picked up something and she said, "How much?" And I said, "Everything on that table is $1, ma'am." She said, "How about 50 cents?" And I said, "No, you know, I drove 200 miles to get up here, and I've got bills to pay, of course. I really can't sell anything under $1. It's just not feasible for me to do that. But I tell you what, find something else. Let's see if we can't make a package deal." And she said, "Okay." So she goes over and she picks up something else, and she goes back to me and she said, "Well, how much for these 2 items?" I said, "How about $2? And she goes, "Yeah, I'll do that." So she gave me $2 and she walked off happy. Now, here's the real kick in the head. Both of those items were $1 to start with. So she just wanted to feel like she got a bargain out of me. But you know, and I've done that same trick I don't know how many times since then. But the way I feel about it, if I feel like picking up an item, if I look at something on a table and I pick it up and I'm like, "Man, I like this, this is kind of neat," and then I even want to bother you and ask you, "How much do you want for the thing?" Surely it's got to be worth $1. I mean, come on, really. If I pick up anything, I don't care what it is, if it caught my eye enough to pick it up and catch my eye enough to pester you about it, ask you what you want for it, surely it's got to be worth $1. I mean, do you realize what $1 will buy today? Nothing. $1 gets you nothing. You can't even go in a convenience store and buy a soft drink for $1, candy bar for $1 anymore. I don't know, I hadn't bought a candy bar in 10 years, but I'm sure they got to be over $1 by now. Anyway, it just seems silly that somebody would be like 50 cents. Come on. Anyway, well, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. We had a little bit of comedy, a little bit of drama today. Hey, I appreciate y'all spending some time with me. Y'all have a good one. I'll see y'all soon. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.